of 7th December 2023. My name is Justice Nicholas Sharp-Piri. I'm the chairperson of the commission. My commissioners will introduce themselves. Mr. Ruku.
I am Dora Sat.
Our secretary is Samuel Cesar. A few practical matters before we start this afternoon. Please, would we just turn off our mobile phones? Just have them fully switched off. Please, could we avoid movement in and out of the room during the proceedings? Let us not interrupt any witnesses or any of the commissioners asking questions. Reminder that we are not allowed to take any audio, video, or photography during the proceedings without permission. And everyone else to respect the commission and not disrupt it. Commissioners undertake to treat every witness appearing before us with courtesy and respect. Can I ask our secretary now to take the oath?
I swear by Almighty God that the evidence
I
shall give to this commission
shall be the truth,
the whole
whole truth,
and nothing but the truth,
and nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God. Thank you.
Mr. Ali, thank you for attending. Could you start by, for the record, stating your full names?
Sure. My name is François Ali. I'm the Director for Enforcement Support Operation within the Customs Division.
And for how long have you been in that position or in the Customs Commission?
I've been working for the past 9 years.
And what are your duties in the Commission?
My main responsibility is to oversee the operations of Cccl 6 unit, which includes manifest unit, export, boarding, examination, which comprises of parcels and small packets coming through the post office, examination of goods, seaport, and FSA, which we call XIBA.
And are you able to describe for the Commission the Customs' role in controlling the importation of dangerous and controlled goods into Seychelles?
One of the core mandates of Customs is to regulate controls mostly of cargoes that comes into the country, and explosive and other goods restricted or prohibited also are controlled by Customs.
So the law provides that no person can import any explosives into Seychelles without a permit, correct? They have to have the permit from the Commissioner of Police, who is the Chief Inspector of Explosives. And so when a consignment of explosive arrives at the port or is about to arrive, what is your procedure as Customs?
Before we go back to the procedure, so every clearance of goods must be done through a lodgement of a customs declaration that we call the bill of entry. This is the main document which is used. And any person who's going to import the goods will have to lodge the bill upon arrival or before the arrival of the goods. The bill of entry is then processed by the entry processing units. And if there is any issues, queries, they will be dealt by the bill of entry unit or the query unit. And then once the bill has been processed and finalized, it will be automatically transferred to the examination unit, where we will look at the documents again and clear those goods based on the bill of entry which has been lodged by the client or trader.
And so we're talking this afternoon about explosives specifically. Does customs verify that a valid police import permit is in place before allowing a consignment to be cleared in relation to explosives?
For all restricted items, before they are imported into the country, the trader or client will need to apply for an import permit through the import permit department within the Ministry of Finance, Investment and Trade. And the police, they will write to the police for the police to give their approval, and once the approval has been granted by the police, then they will be getting an import permit from that department, which is called the import permit department.
And you can confirm that as customs, you keep records in relation to each consignment of explosives that are imported?
We have records because they will have to lodge the bill of entry, like I mentioned prior, and that will be in the system. So we have records of the explosive which has been imported through the document which has been lodged into the system, which we use. We call it the Asikoda World System.
And you have provided us, and that's the file you have there. We've seen you have provided us with all the customs import documentation, declarations, the cargo manifests, and we will be asking you to produce them formally for the record today before you leave, which we have looked at. Could you just confirm, I mean, it's quite difficult to understand those documents as a layperson when you read them, but could you confirm that each consignment in those records show what type of explosives were imported, in what quantity and from where and on what date they came in?
Through the document which has been lodged, we will have the manifest, which usually the main document that the vessel will, the shipping line will hand over to customs, which we input in the system. We will know who is the consigner. We will know approximately the quantity of explosive, but the types, they will just probably say that it is explosive. And we will use this information alongside the invoices and the BL that they will produce while the bill is being processed for the goods to be cleared.
So all those consignments that were accompanied by a valid import permit, correct?
There are a few which one or two, I think they didn't have the permit. Probably they had the permit because the bill, when you import in restricted goods, they have certain HS codes, that is harmonized classification codes that are used specifically for certain goods. The code will not be, the person will not be able to process the bill if the right HS code has not been used. Therefore, to say that it is not being inputted in the system, probably they didn't have the physical copy at certain times, but the goods, to be cleared, they have to clear the HS code based on the import permits that they have.
Okay, thank you. And were any of Cccl's imported consignments examined by an inspector on arrival at the port?
No, customs do not have the expertise to verify those consignments. We rely on the competent authority who's always present when the explosive has landed. And we will look at the documentation at hand. And then if we satisfy with the declaration made, then they will take over to check if it is okay to export outside and to be stored at another place.
So if I understand that you do not have someone that's qualified to help you inspect the dangerous cargo, but so who actually inspects the cargo? Is there anyone that actually inspects the cargo that arrives, like physically?
Physically, no.
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 Okay. So how does customs know for certain what is really coming in?
through the documentation, because they will have to declare, like I mentioned, on the manifest, which is a legal document, also on the BL. The BL should clearly state, because the BL is a legal document that you declare your goods when you're importing or exporting. So the BL should give you the details of the description of the goods, which we will use, and the invoices also, which is another instrument that we use, and the packing list for us to be able to determine if this is the correct goods that has been declared, along with the specific HS code that they have to classify the explosive under for them to get the clearance. Attached to it will have the compol authorization, because they will have to request prior, as well as the permit, which usually gives you permission for you to get the bill cleared to be transferred to examination unit for processing for clearance.
So would I be correct to assume that when an importer is bringing in dangerous goods, we trust that they're bringing in what they say they're bringing in?
Yes.
Right. And would you agree with me that we really ought to have somebody qualified to check what has arrived against, what the permit says is there?
I will agree with you.
Yeah. Otherwise, how would we know if the explosives are in poor condition, for instance, or have deteriorated upon arrival? Something to that effect. So you agree with that, yeah? And could you tell me, were samples ever taken from CCCL's consignment for analysis, or at any time, to the best of your knowledge?
From custom point of view, no.
No? Okay. And we know in relation to explosives, they would have been properly packed, all the consignments that have come, right? Especially if we know they are coming from reputable suppliers, we know that for sure they would be properly packed and labeled. Over the years that customs were processing CCCL's explosives consignments, are you aware of any concern ever raised by any officer about the quantity or the frequency of the imports?
No.
No?
Basically, like I mentioned, they will have to lodge the bill of entry, get cleared, and then as soon as the goods are, and because of the nature of the goods, because I think the explosive is classified as a class 1 dangerous good, so we take fast track those process so that it can get out of the port as soon as it is landed.
Yes.
Usually we have a time frame like 3 hours,
3 hours, yes,
so that the goods can be cleared. And then it's being taken under control, like I mentioned, by the competent authority, which escorts the good out of the port to be stored at the storage facility.
Sure. And who is that authority that escorts the explosives?
The police.
The police? Which department of the police?
I think it's Portru.
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 Portru. Okay. And did customs have any mechanism for tracking whether those explosives that they cleared for importation actually arrived at the declared storage destination?
No, we don't have a tracking system to monitor and check if they have been transferred to the correct venue or storage facility.
Okay. Are you able to tell us from your records, like for instance 2023, what explosives were imported by CCCL? From your records in front of you, I know you have the documentation there. It should be right at the back. I think there was a consignment in March 2023, 31st of March 2023. Think of detonators.
don't think this is in order. I'll check on the documents.
Are you not able to find? It's difficult to.
Can I check mine?
Sure, you can check. We just wanted an indication of what quantities of explosives were imported in 2023. Or rather, confirmation of what was imported. Perhaps I can help you you're getting there? Yeah. The 31st of March, there's a consignment.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they're at the back of that, right at the back. They should be 2023, yes. I think they've indexed them from 2017 to 2023. So the last documents, yes. So just to give an idea, there was a consignment that came in on the 31st of March, 2023. I think we have seen approximately 12,500 detonators that were brought into the country on an Emirates flight. And there was another consignment. I think there's a customs declaration there for June 2023. Maybe the import permits will help you as well.
We have one for June.
For June, yes. Yes.
2nd of June, 2023.
Yes.
Yeah.
And could you tell us the quantities there? Can you see the quantities maybe on the import permit?
On the import permit.
The import permits, yes. I see, for me, there was one consignment of 21,000 kilos, and there was another consignment of 18,000 kilos. So a total of 39,000 kilograms of explosives that came into the country in June 2023.
Yes.
And that would have been roughly 2 containers.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Ali. And can you confirm that the customs records that are being produced by your division are a complete and true record of the documents at customs?
Received.
Yes. And that there are no gaps in the documentation.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Thank you. Perhaps Mr. Luka?
Ici, custom déjà saisi un explosive item qui illegally imported.
Explosives or items that had been imported?
No.
No?
No.
Ils ont aussi dans le passé, ils ont déjà pris un item explosif qui ne pas connaître quoi qui mérite vérification qui ont saisi.
Or has there ever been instances where there are things that had been imported that should have been seized because it was not properly verified?
No.
N'a pas. Ok. De toute façon, fait avant, par exemple, je n'ai pas expertise dans les affaires explosives. Sa façon fait
like you have stated, you do not have the expertise and the qualifications in regard to viewing the explosives when they are imported. Continue.
et sa façon fait avant et après explosion, le tin changé, le tin.
The way that things were done before the explosion and the way that things are being done now, has it changed?
Not really. We still use the competent authority as the main partner to verify, to confirm the goods. We will look at the documentation, because we deal mostly with the documentations, like the bill of entry, the manifest, the invoice or packing list. And from once the bill has been processed and the goods has arrived and it is ready to be cleared, we will liaise with them. They are contacted by the client or trader for them to assist with the clearance. So we haven't changed this process much, to say.
Encore pareil.
Yes.
It's still the same? Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Monsieur Ali, regarding les competent authorities, officiers portru,
Mr. Ali,
pour verify consignment.
when you are talking about the authorities, the competent authorities, portru and officers for them to come and verify the consignments,
Combien d'officiers portru viennent, disons, détenir un consignment?
how many portru officers would come, for example, when there is a consignment?
It depends, I think, but it's not one. I think I've seen more than one, or probably 2 or 3 of them, at times 4 probably, which will come to assist with the clearance and escort.
Les autres viennent, ça bon officiers portru, autres physically inspecter ça bon consignment ou soit cargo, ou soit des autres witness.
When the patrol officers
La
arrive,
procédure
do they
côté.
physically inspect the cargo and what is being ported? Do they physically inspect or they just check?
No, the container is not opened at the port.
Autres qui escort sa consignment out of
Yes, out of the port.
Are they the ones who escort these consignment? Yes.
regarding classification, on dit nous pour dire explosives, ils sont classifiés comme class 1 et on donne ça expedited transit out of.
Yes.
You have spoken about classification and you have said earlier that the explosive are classified and you do the expeditization in regards to facilitating the process of these explosives. Is that correct?
Yes.
Côté sa classification est sorti.
Where
Est
does-
standard international ou soit il y a quelque chose qui sont
Where does the classification come from? Is it an international standard or it is something that your company or your organization has come up with?
This is as per the WCO harmonized classification system, which we call the HS code. It's specific for specific product which are being produced or made. Probably the product might change the code depending if there has been a tweak or change in certain component. But this is a worldwide classification that is used.
Combien de classes il y en a de sa classification?
How many classes are there through all these classifications?
There's a lot of different HS code for different products. But I know that for the particular product, pyrotechnic product and blasting explosive, they use the HS code 3601 to 3604. And this category also is classified under the SI 87 of 2003 as restricted goods.
Okay.
That means you have to get a import permit for you to clear the goods upon arrival.
Ça veut dire ça que nous pouvons voir le bon container que tu peux mettre classe 1, 1.1, soit classe 8. Est-ce qu'il y a les mêmes affaires que ça peut dire nous là, ou soit une autre classification?
Are you saying that the classes that are being labeled on all the containers, for example, class 1, class 1.1, class 8, all these are related to what you are explaining to us right now?
The container, they will have specific, how do you say that, marks that they will have to, if it's explosive, they will have the mark. If it is like corrosive, they will have certain mark. If it is dangerous good, I think they have certain code that they use to ensure, because upon loading on the vessel also, they will not be placed in the same area if you're having a reefer container, or if you have dry goods, or if you have other chemicals. Because they have to label the container properly with the specific labeling based on the nature of the goods upon being exported.
Ça veut dire container in a poli, son classification, customs in a poli.
Therefore, you are saying that the containers has their own classifications and the customs has their own classifications.
The container, they are labeled based on a number. Like you have TMAU, the 04775, I think there's 7 digits. Okay, and then they will have, for example, if they are bringing in certain types of good, they will have to label on the container if this is corrosive, explosive, fire, so they will have to label on the container.
No. Mr. Ali, we have no further questions for you, other than to just request you to please produce the file of documents that you have to the Commission. But thank you for your time. You're free to leave now. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Our next witness will be coming at 2 p.m. So